Coming up, we'll see why it's never a good idea to try and rob the mailman.
And a vicious dog attack leaves a 2-year-old injured.
We'll have these stories and more. Your news Valdosta starts now.
Welcome to News Valdosta. I'm Damian Edwards.
And I'm Quenisha Claiborne. Investigators have charged a Valdosta man in relation to a robbery that took place on Wednesday afternoon. The suspect allegedly stole a package from a postal worker while he was delivering mail in the 1600 block of Slater Street. The man charged with this crime is 21-year-old Craig DeBruce, who is facing robbery charges and possible federal charges in connection to another crime. No one was injured in either of the events, and charges are still pending.
A 2-year-old was attacked by a dog last Wednesday, leaving the child hospitalized. The dog attack happened in Live Oak, Florida, where EMS treated a girl until she was life-flighted to University of Florida Hospital in Gainesville. Officials say the child would probably need cosmetic surgery after being viciously attacked while waiting in the car for her father. Investigators say the back door of the car was open when the canine dragged her from the car and attacked. No arrests or charges have been filed thus far.
A shooting suspect is still considered armed and dangerous, but Valdosta police say that they believe he has fled the city. 33-year-old Christopher Tooley is sought in connection with the March 11th shooting at a gas station on North Forest Street. The occupants of two parked vehicles exchanged gunfire during an altercation and left a 15-year-old girl with a bullet wound in her cheek. 2 men have allegedly been arrested in connection to this crime, but Tooley remains on the run as he faces 2 charges of aggravated assault, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of a firearm during a commission of a crime.
The death of a Valdosta State nursing student nearly 3 years ago has one local politician proposing a bill that will require coroners to have a higher certification and require them to have at least 2 years of medical education on their resume. The death of VSU nursing student Jasmine Benjamin was originally listed as natural causes until an autopsy revealed foul play. Representative Dexter Sharp wants to avoid these kinds of mistakes and has filed for a bill that will make becoming a coroner and lounge.
Valdosta State University police are reminding students to always be aware of their surroundings after this past Thursday when a student was robbed in broad daylight by the Student Recreation Center. The suspect drove alongside the female student, jumped out of his car, snatched her phone, and then fled the scene in what was said to be a tan Chevrolet Tahoe. She described her assailant as a black male with about 5 feet 11 inches tall, and the investigation is still ongoing.
The Valdosta Airport Authority recently held an emergency training drill to make sure that the Valdosta Regional Airport is in good and secure hands. The Valdosta Police and Fire Departments, as well as the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office and South Georgia Medical Center EMS took part in the training drill that brought these first responders together to see how they work together. The event was considered successful as Airport Manager James Galloway said that in the case of emergency, he feels his community would be well served by our emergency personnel.
Friends, family, and teammates gathered at Cross Point Church in Valdosta to bid farewell to Colton Shaw. Colton was 14 years old, a baseball player who died Thursday after being hit in the head with a baseball during the game. The event happened as the teams were warming up between innings and was a complete accident. He was rushed to South Georgia Medical Center and he remained there on life support until Thursday when he passed away. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, Valdosta Board of Education seeks a superintendent.
And we'll keep you posted on the local Easter egg hunt, so stay with us.
Lionfish are an invasive species decimating local fish populations and spreading along the Atlantic coast, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean. Their presence, along with organized culling, increases the risk of envenomation to recreational divers and fishermen. Providing effective first aid is essential. Remain calm and immediately terminate your dive. Remove any obvious foreign material such as spines and rinse with fresh water. Soak in non-scalding hot water and go to the nearest medical facility. For more information, go to dan.org and beadiver.com.
At VSU, we're all fired up. We spark intellects on a cool campus in a hot college town. We fan the spirit with national championships and fuel your fun side. Valdosta State University. Ignite!
Welcome back to News Valdosta.
Bill Sampson of the Georgia Schools Board Association has been appointed to help hire the new Valdosta school intendant. So far, 350 people have responded to the survey so far to say what characteristics they would like to see in the next superintendent. To further discussion on who the committee would want to hire as superintendent, 5 committee members addressed the board in person to share what they would like to see in the next superintendent. Sampson encouraged the citizens to visit the Georgia School Board Association website and view the announcement for the superintendent's position. Nominations from citizens are also welcome.
Dillon Road Presbyterian Church is having an Easter egg hunt. They're inviting the community to come and bring their kids for some free games, surprises, and family fun. The festivities will take place this Saturday, April 4th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 at Hurds Pond Subdivision. For more questions and information, you can find Dillon Road Presbyterian Church on Facebook.
The residents of Valdosta found themselves in luck on Friday, March 13th, when the return of the World Culture Extravaganza. Here's News Valdosta reporter Najari Mathis with more.
The residents of Valdosta found the world in their backyard last Friday at the 7th Annual World Cultural Extravaganza. The event allowed people exposure to the many cultures of the world, presenting unique opportunities for all those who came. Folk dances, crafts, music, games, souvenirs, and food were a few of the ways people found themselves immersed in the rich cultural diversity that the world has to offer.
What I liked about it is that it was informative even for me, because most of the children who were there were middle school age, and me being in college, I learned things about various parts of countries and various continents that I'd never known, and I experienced different cultural norms that you usually don't see here in the States. And what I liked about it is that it was a lot of hands-on things. They gave the children the opportunity to dance, to cook, to sing, to make crafts and play games that that they play in those particular countries.
The event provides a meaningful and enjoyable platform for the people who aren't native to the Valdosta community, or America for that matter, to celebrate and share their traditions and heritage amongst friends. The event also gave teachers the opportunity to educate their students on the rest of the world without the hassle and the practicality that comes with traveling. The World Cultural Extravaganza started with the purpose to inspire and inform, and is still fulfilling this premise today. With your News Valdosta, I'm Najari Mathis.
More than half of Georgia's school districts are now tobacco-free. That's 101 out of 181 districts. Emmanuel County Schools, Lowndes County Schools, and Jenkins County Schools have all recently implemented Georgia's 100% tobacco-free school policy. This milestone works to protect the state's children from the harmful effects of tobacco use and secondhand smoke. Under the tobacco-free school policy, no student, staff member, or school visitor is permitted to use any tobacco product or e-cigarette at any time on school property.
Losing a loved one is never an easy thing to go through, but just imagine how difficult that would be for a child to come to terms with. 15 years ago, County Register started Camp Lean on Me, which is a program to help children from ages 10 to 17 through the coping process of losing a loved one. This year, the camp will be held the weekend of April 17th through the 19th.
Lowndes County Commission Chair Bill Slaughter says that a major goal for Valdosta should be to become an inland container port for future shipping and distribution. Slaughter says that the ideal location would be between I-75 North and South and I-10. Valdosta is a prime area to host as many as 6 shipping ports. Meanwhile, early work has been begun on Highway 133 from Valdosta to Moultrie, and later on will expand to Albany.
The city of Valdosta's unemployment rate has dropped once again in just 1 month. It has been reported the current unemployment rate is 6.5, which is 0.2% lower than its January rate. This is a drastic drop from the last year when February 2014 unemployment rate was at a high of 7.4%. The lowering of the unemployment rate is credited to the creation of new jobs opportunity as well as jobs not laying off as many employees. When we come back, we'll take a look at the local sports so stay tuned.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back.
And now it's time to check in with Sabrina Adams for the local sports report.
Good afternoon, sports fans. In Blazer baseball, Valdosta State rediscovered its offense in time for Sunday's series finale. Valdosta State Blazers improved 19-11 and 11-8, and the conference jumped on top of the Bulldogs early, scoring twice in both the first and second innings. The Blazers also had answered each time Union scored. 2 Union errors proved costly in the first as Hayden Jones reached on a miscue, and 1 out later, Michael Gold also reached on a Bulldog error. Bryant Heyman followed with a RBI grand out, and Kevin Cruz planted goals with a single up the middle. 9 different Blazers hit safely as the team banged out 14 in an 11-2 win against visiting Union at Billy Grant Field as VSU took the rubber game of the 3-game Gulf South Conference set. 5 Blazers had multiple hits, including 3 with extra base hits. And on to Blazers softball. Facing one of the league's best pitchers, the top-ranked Valdosta State Blazers expecting an outstanding start from Caitlin Calhoun in Saturday's first game. The junior ace responded with her usual dominant performance, no-hitting Union at the Steels Diamond in a 3-0 win. It was Calhoun's 3rd no-hitter of the year and 12th shutout. The Blazers then walloped the Bulldogs 9-1 in Game 2. Valdosta State Blazers improved to 33-2, and a Gulf South Conference leading 18-1 extended its winning streak to 23 games. In all, Calhoun struck out a career-high 14 hitters, including the side in the 3rd and 6th, to record her 4th career no-hitter, which is tied for 4th in Gulf South Conference history. And on Friday in Thomasville, Georgia, Valwood took on Brookwood. Brookwood jumped out to an early lead in the bottom of the first inning as it used 3 hits, an error, and a wild pitch to strike for 3 runs against Tyler Richards. Valwood responded quickly in the next inning to recapture the lead. After another out, Browning stepped up to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs and connected on a fastball, sending it way over the left field wall for the grand slam. Valwood defeated Brookwood 4-3 in a GISA Region 3 AAA contest. The Valdosta State Blazers men's tennis team won 18 straight sets on the Saturday to claim a pair of wins over Christian Brothers and Florida Southern in the Pensacola, Florida. The 2 victories stretched VSU's current winning streak to 7 matches and improved the team to 10-3 overall. 6-1 in the Gulf South Conference play, the Bucks record fell to 1-4 overall, 0-2 in the conference play, while FSC dropped to 4-16 overall. The Blazers returned to action on Thursday, April 2nd in Pensacola at 9:30 a.m. against Hawaii Pacific, which currently ranks number 1 in the country, according to the Intercollegiate Tennis Association rankings. And the Valdosta State Blazer women's tennis team winning streak was snapped on Sunday in Pensacola, Florida, as the Lady Blazers suffered a 5-3 defeat at the hands of regional opponent Florida Southern. VSU slipped to 8-7 overall after the loss, while Florida Southern bumped their record to 5-11. The Lady Blazers returned to action on Thursday, April 2nd, with another match in Pensacola, Florida against Hawaii Pacific at 9:30 a.m. That concludes today's local sports. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Sabrina. When News Valdosta returns, we'll talk about a young teenager with talent for using his voice.
So stay with us. We'll be right back.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
What will you find at Valdosta State University?
Challenging academics.
Innovative hands-on experience. Over 100 fields of study.
Engagement in a vibrant community.
Caring mentors and friends. Service and leadership opportunities.
Championship athletics.
The full university experience.
At Valdosta State University.
And we're back with News Valdosta.
Cole Tucker, a 13-year-old Hay Howard resident and ventriloquist, was a part of a star-studded lineup that took stage yesterday at the Jazz Fest. The director of Jazz Fest made a special visit down to Georgia to meet Tucker and was so impressed with his skills that he was added to the show. The free, fun, family-friendly event took place in the historic Thomas Center in downtown Gainesville and featured several other comedy, variety, and circus acts. Tucker made about 20 different stage appearances and even won a Coles Care Scholarship during his time at the festival.
The Hay Howard Library invites you to become a friend of the library by volunteering as a guest reader for one of their children's programs. The library is asking volunteers who are willing to read to children during preschool story times or vacation reading programs. The library is also seeking helpers to take part in their Adopt a Shelf program. In order to keep the library neat and orderly, volunteers will adopt a shelf to straighten. And that's it for our program today. Thanks for watching News Valdosta. I'm Quenisha Claiborne.
And I'm Damian Edwards. We'll see you tomorrow.